Well, welcome everyone. So today I'm going to guide you through a practice with progressively deeper hip and hamstring opening postures. If you have a block and a strap, just grab your props here to begin with. They'll be helpful but are not necessary. I'll give you lots of options if you don't have the props. And then we'll get started in child's pose, sitting down onto your heels, resting your belly to the top of your thighs, and allowing your forehead to come to rest. And you can either extend your arms fully forward or you can draw them back at your sides, however your chest and your shoulders are most comfortable. Begin here with your eyes closed, taking deep belly breaths into the pressure of your knees and thighs. Now, to initiate your Ujjayi breath, create a slight restriction in the back of your throat. Allow your breath to become audible, both on the inhalation and the exhalation. Create one continuous sound as you breathe. And now rising from here onto all fours, spreading your fingers nice and wide, tuck your toes under to float your hips into your first downward facing dog. Bending one knee into the next, pedaling the heels up and down. Now gradually begin to straighten your legs. Keeping a slight bend in your knees, walk your hands to your toes, moving to a forward fold at the back of your mat. Catch your elbows and let your upper body dangle heavily over your thighs. Neck is relaxed. Feel free to sway your upper body nice and gently here from one side to the other. And if you have lower back concerns, make sure you keep a soft bend in your knees in all of the forward folds. Now release your elbows, palms to the floor. Walk your hands forward, returning to downward dog. Shifting your weight to your left foot, lift the right leg high behind you. Bend your knee, allow your heel to roll over your left hip. Straighten the leg back out behind you, lower your foot to the floor, and now switch sides. Lift the left leg high behind you, bend your knee, heel rolls over the right hip. Extend the left leg back out behind you and take a big step forward between your hands, ankle beneath the knee. Step the right foot forward to join the left. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise all the way up, arms overhead. As you exhale, draw your palms to your heart. Inhale, extend your arms. As you exhale, fold forward. Hands down, heart lifts. Palms to the floor, step back into upper plank. Drop the knees if you need to, lower with control, hover if you can. Point the toes, inhale, little cobra, or full upward dog. Exhale, lift your hips, roll over your toes, and as you return to downward dog, return to your forward fold once again at the back of your mat. This time, straighten the legs and allow your hands to rest to shins, ankles, or around the big toes if you can reach. Keeping your hands where they are, inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold forward. Keep your weight forward toward the balls of your feet. Allow your head to hang nice and heavily. And as your neck relaxes, feel the shoulders extend up toward the hips, so your neck grows a little bit longer. Keeping your hands where they are as you inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, fold. Release your toes. Draw your upper body around to the right this time. Reach your right arm behind both legs to catch the left calf. Left hand across the right shin to catch the calf, the ankle, maybe even the heel. Tuck the left sitting bone back, square off your hips. Let your head hang even more heavily. Work towards straightening both legs. Now releasing your legs, draw your upper body back to center and twist around to the opposite side. Left hand reaches behind both legs to catch the right calf. Right hand across the left shin to catch the calf, the ankle, or the heel. And this time the right sitting bone tucks back slightly. And with the added twist, feeling the stretch in a slightly different aspect of the hamstrings. Now releasing your legs, draw your upper body back to center. Palms to the floor, walk your hands forward, returning to downward dog. Take a big breath in, and at the bottom of your next breath, gaze forward to step, walk, or hop your feet between your hands. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise all the way up, arms overhead. As you exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Inhale, extend your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Hands down, heart lifts. Palms to the floor, step or hop into high plank. Lower with control. Inhale to rise upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. At the bottom of your next breath, step your right foot forward. Drop the left heel. And now sweep your arms into Warrior One. Sinking deeply into that right knee, lengthening fully through the back leg. Your gaze lifts only if it's comfortable for your neck. Take one more full breath in. Draw your head to center. Open the arms wide. Warrior Two. Gazing over the middle finger on your right hand, adding a little bit more depth to your lunge. Now slowly straighten both legs. Take a big reach forward. Tip into a lengthy triangle here. Shoulders stack over the right thigh as you tip forward. Gazing toward your higher hand. Legs are straight and strong, thigh muscles drawn up tightly. Now turning your gaze to your big toe on your right foot, lower your left arm to transition into pyramid pose. Hands either to the floor on either side of that front foot, perhaps a little higher up along the shin so you can straighten both legs. And if you feel like your feet are just too far apart, feel free to shorten your stance here slightly. Gaze toward your big toe on your right foot. Tuck the right sitting bone back slightly to square off the hips. Think upward dog here through the spine. Lift your heart, roll the shoulders back. And now preparing to move into a staggered variation of pyramid pose. Just for a breath or two, soften into that right knee and step your left foot over toward that right hand side of your mat. Drop the left heel and now work towards straightening the front leg again. Tuck the right sitting bone back to square off the hips. Again, a slightly different stretch here through the hamstrings with the added twist, with that little bit of a staggered stance. Now preparing to drop down into seated twist from here, bend your right knee, tuck the left knee behind the right, and lower all the way down. Feel free to slip a block beneath your hips here if you're tipping sideways. Now twisting to the right, right hand behind the right hip. Extend the left arm to the ceiling. Hook your left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to gaze over your shoulder. Keep grounding forward into your sitting bones. Tuck the chin back to align your ears over your shoulders. Take deep belly breaths into the twist. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, release the twist. Extend your right leg forward. Swing it all the way out behind you to tuck the toes under. Step back into upper plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale to rise upward. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Switching sides, step the left foot forward, drop the right heel, extend the arms back into warrior one. If you're choosing to lift your gaze here, make sure you're keeping some length and some strength through the back of the neck, rather than letting the head fall all the way back. Take one more full breath in, head to center, arms open wide, warrior two. Feeling that slight activation of the core, keeping the belly tucked in, the rib cage drawn in. And now slowly straightening that left leg, take a long reach forward and tip back into that lengthy triangle. Gazing toward your higher hand, making sure the back of the right hand is visible. The arm extends straight from the shoulder. Now turning your gaze to your big toe on your left foot, lower your right arm back into pyramid pose. Hands to shin, ankle, perhaps to the floor on either side of that front foot. And once again, feel free to shorten your stance here slightly. Gazing toward your big toe, tuck the left sitting bone back. Draw the right hip a little further forward. And now back into our staggered stance. Bend the left knee slightly. Step your right foot over toward the left edge of your mat and drop the heel. Now work towards straightening that front leg once again, perhaps sliding your hands a little higher up along the shin or the ankle. Tuck the left sitting bone back to square off the hips. And now dropping back down into our seated twist. Bend your left knee, tuck the right knee behind the left, and lower all the way down. Hips to the floor or the block if you need it. Placing your left hand behind your left hip, inhale, reach into the right arm. Hook your right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to gaze over your shoulder. Visualize your spine here nice and long, the rib cage just floating around that long straight spine. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, release the elbow, return to center. Extend the left leg out in front. Swing it all the way out behind you, toes tucked under. Step back into upper plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale to rise upward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now drop your knees to the floor, cross your ankles behind you, sit back, roll over your ankles into a seated cross-legged position, and then extend your legs fully forward. Have your strap and your block within arm's reach for this next sequence. Tuck the top of your right foot snugly beside your right hip. Now, if you're feeling limited in this position by your hip, your knee, or your ankle flexibility, slip a block beneath your sitting bones. Ideally, the inner thighs come together to touch. So just take a few moments here, let the hips settle, flex that left foot back and toward the knee. Now you can either hold it here, seated fully upright. Alternatively, place your hands behind your hips to soften slightly into the elbows. You might lower all the way down onto your forearms or all the way down onto your back. And generally, the moment that that right knee begins to lift, you've probably gone back far enough. If you're halfway back, you can either let the head fall all the way back or keep the chin tucked toward the chest, however your neck is most comfortable. If you're all the way back, try bending your left knee to plant the sole of that left foot to the floor. And this will help you to square off the hips a little bit more effectively. If you're comfortable with that left foot to the floor, you might even lift the left foot from the ground to catch your shin with both hands, deepening the stretch through that right hip and thigh. If you've chosen to lift the left foot, release the shin, foot to the floor, re-extend the left leg, and then with the help of your hands, make your way back to a seated position. Bend your left knee, foot to the floor. Catch your left shin with both hands and feel your lower belly reach forward toward the top of your thigh. Now feel free to hold it here. If you'd like to take it a step further, you can slip the tie around the arch of your foot to hang onto the tie with both hands, or you can catch the arch of the foot with both hands to extend that left leg fully forward. Keep grounding forward into the sitting bones, lengthening fully through that left leg. And if you'd like to take it a step further, reach your right hand to the outside of your left foot and sweep your left arm toward the back edge of your mat, shifting your gaze over your left shoulder to complete the twist through your spine. If you've chosen to reach into that left arm, extend the left arm forward again. Bend your knee, plant your foot to the floor, and let the left knee fall open to the side. Twisting to the left, left hand behind the left hip, right hand to left knee. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to gaze over your shoulder. Now allow your weight to collapse fully into your left palm. Extend your right arm to the ceiling, lift your gaze to your fingertips, and either hold it here or rise onto both knees. Press the hips forward and let the right arm drop back. Let your head fall all the way back. If you've chosen to lift the hips here, gently release your hips to the floor. Extend the right leg forward. Extend the left leg forward. And now prepare to switch sides. Tuck the top of the left foot snugly beside your left hip. Again, slip that block beneath the hips if you need it. Take a moment here, let the hips settle, sit nice and tall. And now placing your hands behind your hips to either hold it here, perhaps bending slightly into the elbows, perhaps dropping down onto the forearms, perhaps coming all the way down onto the ground. So trying to recreate the depth that you did on the opposite side, creating balance, creating symmetry in our bodies. If you're all the way down, try bending that right knee to plant the sole of the right foot to the floor, just to help square off the hips. If you caught your shin on the opposite side, lifting the right foot to wrap your hands around the front of the shin, deepening the stretch through that left hip and thigh. If you've chosen to lift that right foot, release the shin, foot to the floor. Re-extend your right leg down onto your mat. And with the help of your hands, draw your upper body back to center. Bend the right knee, foot to the floor. Catch the shin. Extend your belly to the top of your thigh, sitting nice and tall. Now take whichever variation you took on the opposite side, either holding it here, perhaps catching the arch of that right foot to extend the leg out in front, gazing forward toward your big toe. Shoulders nice and relaxed. And if you took the twist on the opposite side, reaching the left hand to the outside of the right foot, extending your right arm toward the back of your mat, shifting your gaze over your shoulder, long through both arms, broad across the chest, broad across the upper back. If you've chosen to twist here, re-extending the right arm forward, bending your right knee, foot to the floor, let the right knee fall open to the side. Twisting to the right, right hand behind the right hip, left hand to right knee. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to gaze over your right shoulder. Allow your weight to collapse fully into your right palm. Extend your left arm to the ceiling. And either hold it here or rise onto both knees. Press the hips forward and let that left arm drop back. Head falls back. One more big breath in. Gently lower your hips to the ground. And as you return to a seated position, draw that left foot forward into a comfortable cross-legged position. Plant your palms to the floor in front of you. Roll forward onto all fours. Step back into upper plank. And then exhale to lower all the way down onto your belly. Gently roll over onto your back. Having your strap within arm's reach, just begin here by catching your right knee with both hands. So depending on your hamstring flexibility, you might take hold of the big toe on your right foot with your thumb, index, and middle finger on the right hand to extend that leg straight toward the ceiling. If you're having difficulty straightening the leg, slip the tie around the arch of your foot and take hold of the tie just in your right hand. If you're using the tie, create just enough slack in the tie to extend that leg fully. So all three of your hamstring muscles cross the knee joint. So in order to stretch those muscles most effectively, you really need to straighten the leg. Straighten that knee joint. The leg on the ground, nice and straight as well. Now extend your left arm to the side, palm down. Turn your gaze to the left. Squeeze your left buttock to the floor as you drop that right leg out to the side. Just as far as the inner thigh muscles and the hamstrings will allow. But keep squeezing that left buttock to the ground. Keep your left shoulder connected to the floor. Drawing your head back to center, engage your core, draw the right leg back overhead. You can release the tie if you've got the tie. Bend your knee, half happy baby pose. Catch the inside arch of your right foot with your right hand and tug down really firmly on the arch of that right foot, as if you're tucking your knee in toward your right armpit. Now moving into a reclining variation of pigeon pose from here with lots of different options. As you release the sole of your right foot, draw the right foot over towards your left shoulder. So you might simply choose to cradle that lower leg with both arms. Depending on your hip flexibility, you might be able to slide the sole of the right foot into the bend of that left elbow and then wrap the right arm around the outside of your right thigh to interlace your fingers. If you'd like to go for more of a mermaid bind in this posture, release your bind. Thread your left arm just underneath that right ankle, bending at the elbow, and then extend your right arm behind your head to interlace your fingers just to the left side of your left ear. Once you've got the bind, you can let your head rest back into that little hammock that you've created in your right forearm. And as the head relaxes back, the stretch intensifies through that right hip. Try to stay long through the leg on the ground. If you've taken the mermaid bind, release your hands. Gently lower your head to the floor. Squeeze your knee to your chest. Knee down, twist. Right arm to the side, palm down. Turn your gaze to the right and guide that knee all the way over to the left. A little more effort to your breath as you breathe into the twist. Now drawing your head back to center, guide the right knee back. Hug both of your knees back to your chest. And now keeping hold of the left knee, straighten your right leg down onto your mat to switch sides. And if you use the tie on the opposite side, slip the tie around the arch of the left foot. Otherwise, take hold of the big toe with your left hand to straighten that left leg toward the ceiling. Lengthening through both legs, pressing into both heels. Perhaps drawing the leg in a little closer towards your chest. Now extend your right arm out to the side, palm down. Turn your gaze over your right shoulder. Squeeze your right buttock to the floor as you lower the leg to the left. Just let that leg fall out as far as it comfortably can, keeping the leg straight and strong. Keep squeezing that right hip to the floor. Now drawing your head back to center, engage your core, draw the left leg back overhead. Transitioning back into half happy baby pose, releasing the toe or the tie. Catch the inside arch of your left foot, bending the left knee deeply, tucking that left knee in toward the left armpit. And now back into your reclining pigeon variation, releasing the inner arch of your left foot. Drop your left foot over towards your right shoulder and take whichever variation you took on the other side. Perhaps just cradling that left lower leg in both arms. Perhaps sliding the sole of the left foot into the bend of the right elbow to interlace your fingers around the shin. Or to take the mermaid bind, releasing your bind here, threading the right arm just underneath that left ankle to bend at the elbow. Now the left arm reaches behind your head, fingers interlace just outside of that right ear, and your head relaxes back into the left forearm. A nice deep stretch through that left hip. If you've taken the mermaid bind, release the bind, gently lower your head. And as you release that left shin, squeeze the knee to your chest. Extend your left arm to the side, palm down. Turn your gaze to the left and guide the knee all the way over to the right. Drawing your head back to center, guide the left knee back. Hug both knees back to your chest. One last squeeze. And now in preparation for our final posture, release your shins, feet to the floor. Extend your legs fully down onto your mat. Allow your arms to rest at your sides, palms open to the ceiling. Now take a deep breath in through the nose and an audible sigh out through the mouth. Once more, big breath in through the nose, empty through the mouth. And now observe your breath as it returns to its natural, relaxed rhythm. Letting go of the restriction in the back of your throat. Your attention turns to your inner body, your inner space, a space more vast than your outer world. Now simply shift your attention back to the flow of your breath each time you're distracted by a thought, allowing your body, your mind to drift into stillness. Now, keeping your eyes closed, slowly begin to resurface. Feel the slightest movement arise through your fingers and toes. Extend your arms out overhead for a full body stretch. Reach from end to end. Bend your knees, draw your feet to the floor, and now roll softly to your right side, all the way onto your right shoulder, head to your upper right arm. And now rise from here to a seated, cross-legged position. Drawing your hands to your heart, opening our eyes to each other. Namaste. So enjoy the rest of your day. If you're enjoying my classes, please feel free to subscribe, feel free to share. And if you'd like to donate, there's a little PayPal button just to the right of Mount Rundle on the homepage of my YouTube channel. Thank you for your practice.